Hello, everybody. This is Dee from Dee's Cute and Crafty, and I am back with yet another Christmas in July video for you today. I have 5 things that I would like to show you. They are quick and easy. And this is going to be a series. We have 7 in the series, so 7 videos for you for the month of July. Let's get started. You're going to need some ribbon, one of my Dollar Tree paint markers in the color white, one of the Dollar Tree houses, and this is the one that is a dry erase board. I am using one of the Dollar Tree chalkboard stickers and some of the Dollar Tree Buffalo Check peel and stick vinyl, and some little berries and greenery that I pulled from my stash. Again, this one is quick and easy with just enough pop of red for Christmas. So I'm taking my Buffalo Check vinyl peel and stick paper from the crafter square, and I'm just pressing it down into the opening of that house, like a shadow box kind of opening, so that it gives me the indentation that I need to cut this out. And I'm giving myself some grace, and I'm actually cutting on the outside of the indentation, not on the inside, because if it's a little too big, I can trim it up, but if I cut it too small, I can fix it, but I'd rather not. So I'm just going to flip this over because I want the side that is the press board side, so that I can continue to use the other side, the dry erase side, as a dry erase board. So this is a 2-sided sign, if you will. The dry erase side I'm going to leave alone. I went around with my Sharpie marker and I outlined the inside of this house because I did come up just a little bit short in spots. So if you go around it in black before you lay your paper down, it's really hard to tell that you did that you came up a little short unless you really stare at it. So that's a quick fix. You could paint it too, but I'm trying not to pull my paint out for this particular project because I want it to be quick and easy. So I took that Dollar Tree, I forgot what I called it, chalkboard sticker, oh my gosh, and wrote the word joy on it. And now I'm going to take my ribbon from, I believe this ribbon is Walmart last season. I'm just going to make a shoestring bow, and I'm going to adhere it to that greenery. It's like a sugary, glittery kind of leaf greenery, and then some of those little red styrofoam balls. And I'm trying to not stick my finger in the hot glue, so I'm going to use my little tweezers to place those in the glue and then press them down. This one's done, you guys. I did, however, go back and add a chimney because every time I do a house, I feel like it should have a chimney on it. So here in the reveal, you can see that I just took a tumbling tower block and I glued it to the back of the house, and that created a chimney. I didn't bother about painting it because it actually goes well with the trim of the house. And this is DIY number 1. This will be cute for tiered tray, you guys. Keep that in mind. There's a couple of pieces for tiered tray in this video. Moving on to DIY number 2, I'm going to be using some of my scrapbooking paper, some of the laser cut stars, some craft stick, some glue stick, some of these little twigs from Dollar Tree, and some cardboard. This is simple. It is so much fun. It is easy. So this is a really good one to do with your grandchildren or your little ones if you have little ones at home. This one is a quick and fun and easy one for them. And no painting, you guys. You just have to cut out the pieces for them because you don't want little fingers to get cut. But if they're old enough, they can use scissors. I'm just using my X-Acto knife. And this one is very inexpensive. We're using cardboard that I already had laying around. So I'm just taking my cardboard and I'm making use of those corners, and I'm cutting out triangles, and I'm cutting them out in various sizes, going from small to large, large to small, however you want to do it. It was easy for me to go from small to large. And then I'm just trimming them up with my scissors, making sure my angles line up a little bit better because they were slightly off. And then you just stack them. And now I'm going through my scrapbook, and then I said, oh, nope, wait a minute. I've got some scrapbooking paper that I've already used laying around, so let's use what we can of that. So any piece that fits the cardboard is a piece that I'm going to use. So I just took the glue stick and put it on the back of the cardboard that I cut into triangles, and then I just pressed it down, making sure I have a really good adhesion between cardboard and paper. I love the glue stick for this. It's very easy, no Mod Podge needed. And now I'm just trimming the extra scrapbooking paper away from the triangle, doing various Christmas colors in greens and reds, and the patterns don't have to match up. That's part of the fun and whimsy of this. So I did several. I did enough to do 3 trees in the scrapbooking paper, and then I'm going to do another one using something different. You guys, thank you so much for joining me today. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing. If you're watching my content and you're enjoying it, please hit that subscribe button. It helps my channel to grow. Give this video a big fat thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that notification bell as well so you never miss out on another cute and crafty DIY with D. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much for coming back. You guys, I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. Thank you for being here with me today. So now that I've hot glued all of my triangles together, I glued them down to a craft stick, or glued a craft stick to the back of it, and then glued that to this little round piece of wood. I found these in a bag at Dollar Tree, fell in love with them, bought a lot of them. I'll be using them for the fall season as well. Then I took a cube and I just adhered that cube to the back of the craft stick to give that something to stand onto, because it wouldn't just stand up with just the craft stick. You needed another base for that. So that little wood cube did the trick. And look at them. I put one of the laser cut stars on top, and that was it for those 3 trees. Now we're going to make another one. Same process. Cut out your triangles. These don't have the pointy top on them, but then I realized I didn't need the pointy top because they're going to get lined up. The only point needs to be the actual last piece at the top. So I saved myself a little bit of cardboard. But anyway, after I got all my pieces cut out the way I wanted them, I went ahead and just stuck them to this peel and stick tile piece. And I didn't worry about trying to get the design exactly as it was. I think it's fun the way it is. It doesn't have to be, you know, the tree running straight down the middle of the design of the peel and stick tile. I just put those pieces of cardboard on any way I could get them to fit and cut them out. And this one is really pretty. I love this silver and white tree. It just pops to me. And then I'm going to use one of the metal silver stars off of one of my Dollar Tree USA tags that I had left over from 4th of July. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to go ahead and put a craft stick on the back, put a cube on the back of the craft stick, and then go ahead and adhere it to one of the little wood rounds so that it can stand. And this one gave me a hard time standing. I don't know what was going on with it. I ended up adding a piece of cork to the bottom of it to get it to stand up. It was like it was top heavy, or the piece of wood on the bottom wasn't flat, or there was something on my table. I don't know what was going on, but I added that piece of cork and then it stood up. It's just weird. And here is the reveal of all the different Christmas trees that I made. Super simple, but they came out so pretty. And this is not my favorite. I have not told you which one my favorite is yet because I haven't done it. But if you want to know which one it is, you got to keep watching. These trees are so cute and good for tiered tray decor. Moving on to DIY number 3, and my favorite of the not 5 but 6. There's a bonus. I was saying 5, there's 6. So this one is my favorite. I have some scrap wood. This is the 12 by 12 chunky wood slats from Dollar Tree. I've got some of my leftover fabric from video number 2 of Christmas in July, where I did the mittens. So I have some of that red and silver fabric and some of that fur left over. I am using my, I think this is folk art or deco art, red paint in the color Santa Claus. And I will be using my Sharpie markers, doing a little bit of hand lettering. I have some of that tin left over from the cookie tray. I've used that in a DIY, so I have some of that left we're going to use. And I also have some of the Dollar Tree faux leather in the color black. So we're going to get this wood cut out in 3 different sizes. You're going to go small, medium, large, however you want to do it, short, medium, tall. You can see it's a stair-step effect with these pieces of wood. And then I get them all painted red, except for the parts that I'm going to glue together. We don't need paint on that. And I'm using wood glue and hot glue for that short-term, long-term hold that we like. And now that I've got them all glued together, and I'm so sad that my Santa red is almost gone. You guys see me painting with my fingers. Yes, I am literally finger painting because I already cleaned my brush and I don't want to re-clean it. I usually have water, soapy water in a mason jar sitting beside me off to the side when I'm painting, and I just stick my brushes in there and I swirl them around and I clean them right away. And I didn't want to re-clean that brush, so yeah, I finger paint it. However you can get it done, get it done. So now I'm taking my black faux leather from the Dollar Tree and I'm measuring out, yes, Santa's belt. This is going to be Santa. So the first go round, I measured it out and I cut it and I said, that's a pretty puny looking belt for Santa. Santa's got the belly like a bowl full of jelly, so he needs a bigger belt. So I went back in and I redid that belt, made it a little bit wider, and I'm happier with this one. So now I'm just kind of measuring where I want it to sit, how high up or how far down, because we're going to make a buckle, and we're doing the buckle out of this cookie sheet tin from Dollar Tree. We're just going to cut a square, and then I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and cut a square in the middle to make a hole so that it looks like the black faux leather is going through the belt buckle, but it really isn't. I'm just going to hot glue that on top and use a little bit of Gorilla Glue. So I'm taking my Sharpie and I'm kind of making the square where I want it. I'm not going to just freehand that because I know I'll mess it up. So I just drew that on, and then I'm going to cut it with my X-Acto knife. And then I'm taking a baby wipe and wiping off any of that Sharpie marker that I got on that little piece of tin. And I'm just squaring it up a little bit better. And there we go. This one is totally my favorite. I love this one, and I hope you guys do too. It is so cute to me. And perfect for what? Tiered tray decor. So I'm taking my Gorilla Glue and some hot glue. And I didn't want to use a whole lot of hot glue because on this faux leather, it tends to make it bumpy. You can see the glue underneath. You can see how it dried kind of like with ridges. So I try not to use too much of it, but I did want it to adhere quickly. So I knew I had to put some of it on there with that Gorilla Glue. Now I'm just cleaning up, getting that glue off the back. And then we're going to use a little bit of Gorilla Glue. And again, going in with the hot glue. And get this buckle glued down. Back in with the baby wipe for cleanup, getting that Gorilla Glue off of there. And it wiped up really nice. Now I'm going to freehand the words, of course, ho, ho, ho. And then I will go in. I love using a pencil first. You see that I can erase whatever I don't like. And then I'll go in with my white paint marker from Dollar Tree. And I will go over that pencil marking a couple times. And actually it looks more like a gray or a silver, and I don't mind. I don't mind it at all. I could always go back in with my white paint and hand paint over that if I wanted a really sharp, crisp white. But this is fine. I don't mind it at all. So, yes, that's what I did with my leftover scraps, my scrap of ribbon and my scrap of fur. I just took that scrap of red and silver ribbon and rolled it into a cone, and I hot glued it down the back, and I added the little bit of fur around it. I took one of the white pom-poms and put it on the top and just add a little bit of greenery and a pine cone, and that made Santa's hat. And that was the finishing touch for me. I love this one. Absolutely love it. It's so stinking cute. On to DIY number 4. I'm using my white chalk paint, some ribbon from Walmart and Dollar Tree, a little bit of jute, a welcome sign from Hobby Lobby, some MDF that I made into a sign, and 2 candy canes cut from some MDF, and some more, some more of that sugar frosted greenery and the red berries. You guys, you know how I love taking MDF boards from Dollar Tree, the long ones, and cutting out whatever shapes I want. And right now, since it's not really Christmas time, you got to make do. So I took one of the long MDF boards and I cut out 2 candy canes. I freehanded them, and then I cut them out. I got 2 from one board. And that sign that you see me staining with Hello Hobby Antique Wax, I got that from the same sign. So this entire DIY is from one of the long Dollar Tree signs. I just cut that out, and here we go. There's nothing else I could say. I cut it out by hand. So I went in and I painted the candy canes white. I also painted the welcome word white. I got that from Hello Hobby, from Hobby Lobby. My gosh. In one of the packs, it comes with a lot of little ones in there. They all say something different. So I pulled that from that out of my stash. And instead of painting the candy cane stripes, I thought it would be so cute just to use some ribbon. And so I pulled out this red checkered ribbon that was so cute, pulled it out of my stash, and I said, oh yeah, this is going to work. So after I got them painted, I just wrapped them in the ribbon, and I did a crisscross with the candy canes, and I just stapled them together. I then took my little piece of wood that I made my sign with, that I stained with the Hello Hobby Antique Wax, and I stapled that on as well. And then I hot glued the word welcome onto that sign. And I'm going in with my greenery, some more of that, like I said, that sugary kind of frosted, glittery leaf, some red berries, and then this black and white buffalo check ribbon. I'm going to make a bow, and I am going to hang it with some jute, and it's done. Super cute, and I love it. It actually is my second favorite of the 6 that I'm going to show you today. You guys, if you make it to the end of the video, give me a candy cane. And if there's no candy cane emojis, just type the word candy cane. That lets me know that you hung out with me today. Oh my gosh, you guys, I appreciate it so much. When I look in the comments and I see the hearts or the Christmas trees or, you know, the seashell or whatever it is I asked you guys to leave me, you have no idea. I just smile from ear to ear. It's the best feeling ever. I appreciate you. You have no clue. This is just awesome to me. And I thank you, and I'm blessed to have you. I truly, really am. So I'm just going in with my awl, and I'm making some little holes, and then I'll go back in with my screwdriver, and then I'll just screw those in so that I can get my jute cord in there, and we can hang this up. And you know what? This would be cute. It's cute on its own, but I thought it's not as big as I want it to be for a door hanger. So I would put it in a wreath. I would add it to a big green wreath and, you know, do a little something else with it. And then it would be perfect for my front door. And here's the finished DIY of number 4. I love how this turned out. I hope you guys do too. Moving on to DIY number 5, I have this Believe word from the Dollar Tree. I have one of the Dollar Tree long signs. Again, some of my greenery from my stash and various ribbons from Dollar Tree. One of my woodworking tools also from Dollar Tree. So we're going to start out by taking this sign apart. I want the back part of it as my front, of course, because it's so hard to peel all that paper off. And I'm just going in and making some lines. We're going to make some faux wood or faux shiplap. And I love taking my woodworking tool and just going along those pencil lines and getting deep grooves into that MDF because it looks more like wood to me when I do that. You could also just draw the lines on and smudge them with your finger. You could take your Gator sander and just sand those lines in. But I like doing it this way. I love the look of it. And I am going in with my apple barrel paint in the color Red Flamingo. And boy, is it red. I'm out of my Santa, so this is what I had on hand, so this is what I'm using. Now I'm going in with my homemade white chalk paint, and I'm painting the word Believe. I'm painting it all white, and then I'll go back in and paint Santa's hat, and I'm really struggling with the last little bit of that Santa red from, I think it's Apple Barrel. Also, I got some out of the cap, and I used it to make Santa's hat and to dot that eye. And now I'm going in with my black Sharpie. I'm going to switch out to a thicker one because this thin one's just not doing it. And I am writing over the word Believe just a little bit so that you could see the E, because when you look at it, it's not completely carved out. The hole that you would see in the letter E is not there. So I felt like, what, what's going on? So I went in with my Sharpie and wrote the word Believe so that you could get a better defined like look at this word, because it just didn't pop. It just wasn't crisp enough, because I don't know if they did that intentionally or if that was an error or what, but I didn't like it, so I fixed it, or at least to me I fixed it. Now I'm going in with some of my greenery from last year, and I'm just going to make a wreath, and I'm trimming it up really, really well. I'm really cutting it down because it looks more realistic when it's not so long and hairy looking. It looks realistic when you tighten it up a little bit. It's just too long. It's too much. And now I'm adding in my greenery from my stash. I'm going to add in those little white balls as well, and this little frosted leaf pieces that I have, which actually is not Christmas greenery. Those white leaves, frosted leaves, came off of some lavender that I had, and I don't even remember where I got it from, either Joann's or Walmart. But I thought it looks like it's snowy, so I'm going to use it. Just getting everything glued down all the way around. Now I'm going to place my wreath where I want it, and I am going to wire the word Believe to that wreath, going back in the corners and adding some hot glue, because I noticed that when I flipped it over, it was moving around. The board inside was moving around, and I didn't like that. Now I used, I believe, green paddle wire. Yes, I use green paddle wire to secure this to the wreath. But you could use black or you could use silver, whatever seems to blend in best to you. And I'm just using the paddle wire to keep from using so much glue. Here you see me just doubling up my paddle wire because it's a little thin. So I like to double it up and then use it. Now I'm going to take my red Believe ribbon and my ribbon with the holly and the bow on it. And we're going to make a hanger and we're going to make a bow. And this one will be done. Now I'm just trying to figure out how I want this to go. Do I actually want to hang the wreath from the ribbon I used as a hanger? Do I want to hang the wreath from the Believe ribbon when I make the bow? Which way am I going with this? So I ended up using the Believe ribbon to hang, or to, yeah, I actually did use it to hang the wreath from. I was going to say to pretend I hung the wreath from it, and then I actually glued the wreath to the board. I did not glue that wreath to the board. I actually used that Believe ribbon to hang the wreath. That was a thought, though, and then I thought, no, because you're going to have to use a butt ton of glue, and I don't want to do that. So I didn't do that. I try not to use a lot of glue if I don't have to. I just don't want my projects all glued and just gunked up with all that glue. Yes, hot glue is my friend. It's in every DIY I make. But you can use it sparingly in places like this, definitely. It doesn't have to be everywhere. And you guys know I'm heavy-handed with the glue gun, so I end up doing a lot of cleanup as it is. So I tried not to use a bunch of glue on this one. This one came out so cute, and I cannot wait to give it to my daughter for her house this Christmas. She's gonna love it. On to DIY number 6, I am using my chalk paint and I'm thinking this is the red flamingo. I have an MDF barn that I cut out of MDF board, and I have some of the Dollar Tree rub-on greenery, some of the transfers. You guys, I had one of those barns left over from Valentine's Day, and I think it says home is wherever you are, or where your heart is, or where my heart is, something like that. Anyway, I didn't want to use it for this. I have something else in mind for that, but I wanted a barn so bad. So this is a bonus video. I took that MDF and I put that barn on there and I traced it out, and then I just cut it out. I cut everything by hand. You guys already know. I've showed you how I do that. I don't have power tools, so it takes me a minute when I cut things by hand. I don't mind it. It's part of crafting and I enjoy it. Sometimes my hand and my wrist don't enjoy it, but mentally I enjoy it. So anyway, I cut that out, and then I am painting it white, and then I wrote on it in my own handwriting, Merry Christmas, and I painted the top of the barn red. I thought this was so cute. I just loved it. Excellent for tiered tray. Going back in with my Sharpie and tightening everything up, getting it all nice and dark so we can see what it says. And I am erasing any pencil marks that may be left behind. And I am taking this rub-on greenery, cutting out the pieces that I want because we're going to make a wreath around the wording. I started to write Country Christmas, but I ended up writing Merry Christmas. We'll use that in something else. Believe me, we have 4 more videos for this month in my series of Christmas in July. It is a 7-part series. This is video number 3. I'm glad you guys have been enjoying my content so far. I just really do this to relax. I do this because I love it. It takes my mind to a whole nother place. I don't have to think about, patients and working and nursing and the things that I do. It is my relief. It is what de-stresses me. And I'm so glad you're here with me. So now that I've got my transfers on, I felt like it was kind of flat. It needed a little something else. So I took some of my jute cord and I just trimmed out the roof line. And I'm going to make a jute bow. And that gave it what I was looking for. I think I went around the edges and maybe sanded those and made it a little distressed. But it just needed something else. And that jute was just enough. Going to add tumbling tower blocks to the back so that it stands on its own. And this one is also, if I haven't said it already, good for tiered tray decor. And here's the final reveal of DIY number 6. You guys don't forget to comment down below and let me know which one is your favorite out of the 6 that I've showed you today. I love hearing what you guys think about them. And here's the final reveal of everything I have presented to you today. I hope you guys try these, and if you do, and you don't have a YouTube channel, but you'd like to show your work off, because I'd love to see it, head on over to D's Cute and Crafty DIY Divas. It is my free Facebook page. Ask to become a member, and admin will let you in, and I will be able to see all of the beautiful things that you guys have been crafting. I love looking at what you guys do because you inspire me. You inspire me to do better. You inspire me to create, and I love seeing what you guys are up to. You guys, as always, I want you to be blessed, stay safe, and craft something beautiful today, you guys. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.